Hello, young thespians, and welcome back to drama. This week we are talking about character work using puppets. Now, we are not at this time learning puppetry per se. The art of puppeteering has so many elements beyond character. There are a lot of technical elements that go into it that we will not be talking about this during these lessons. I'll actually be doing a camp on puppeteering itself in July if we ever get out of lockdown. Okay, now this is an extension of mask work, kind of as I said before, and it's using puppets to study character. Okay, so when you are personally in a play or a skit as yourself, you have to visualize who it is you're trying to portray. And then you assume that character. You're kind of wearing the character. So if you're someone much older, we can use costumes or wigs or makeup to help, but it is you, the actor, who creates the character. So if you're trying to be someone much older, you would change how you hold your body, perhaps. You might change how you hold your face. Might be a little bit more droopy. And depending on which kind of character you're playing. You know, if you're an old man who's very crotchety, kind of a get off my lawn kind of, okay? But if you're trying to play an older man who's very benevolent, hello children, come and sit with me and let's tell a story. You would bring in the physical characteristics, you would bring in the facial characteristics, and also the vocal characteristics. And all of these things work together to create your character. Now, when you're using puppets, the puppet master, which is you, you're still creating character. However, you can look at your puppet and study a tangible object to help you decide on those choices. Okay? So let's start out with an already finished puppet that is a familiar character. Okay, so right here I've got a Kermit the Frog puppet, which I uploaded a video to the stream page. Kermit is very much a base, almost a sock type puppet. It's a hand puppet. It's all felt, sewn together, with just a little bit of stiffness inside of the mouth. Okay? Now, these kind of puppets are really great because they are so malleable, meaning you can really manipulate them. So for example, if I want Kermit to look frustrated, I might pull in the top of that, give it a little shake like a frustration. If I want him to look worried, I might pull it in like, oh my goodness. And then you can actually even have a finger up near the eyes to manipulate how the eyes move. He's very excited, a very Kermit thing. Now, you know, I do voices, but I don't do impressions, so I'm not a good impersonator. I can't really do a Kermit voice, but he's kind of a, you know, that's a very Kermit thing. So if you have a puppet that's already a character, then you already, like, Kermit is his own character. You do a Kermit-ish voice, you take on the same characteristics that we've seen time and time again with Kermit. However, it is obvious that he is not real. Okay? But in that video that I posted, it really seemed as though, I mean, he went up, turned on the camera, came back, started plucking on a banjo, which I don't know if you noticed had no actual strings on it, but the puppeteer who was helping out and doing the arm work was moving it as though he were playing the frets, and also as though he were plucking on the strings. That is something that, and I've used this term before, is suspension of disbelief. The actor, the character person who's working, the puppeteer who's doing the character, is so believable, is so invested in the character that we believe it even if our eyes are seeing something different. Okay? So here's one that's already a very well-known character. Now you can find puppets that are already made, and you can kind of determine what kind of character you want. This is just an old blanket that my daughter had. Okay, it's an alligator. Okay, now this one is similar. It's got a lot more foam, kind of stuffing inside of it. It's got a kind of a cardboard feeling mouth to give it some stiffness, but it can still be manipulated in some ways. You can bend the face. You can open. You can change how the head moves to show. Now, if I were looking at this, I think, okay, he looks pretty jovial. Looks like he might be friendly. And I can use that because of the way the eyebrows are here, the eyes, the color, the teeth they don't look super menacing to me, I don't think. I might decide that this is a friendly alligator and play it in such a way. Now, when you play something the way that is obvious, you're playing it to type. Okay, if you've ever heard typecasting. So that someone like me might be typecast as a mom. Okay. But if you play something against type, meaning against the way you look, what the natural fit is for you, then you might cast me as a supervillain. Okay, I don't necessarily look like that naturally, but sometimes it's fun to go against type. So if I were doing this with type, alligator, pretty friendly though, might chomp, like the kind you'd have in a kid's song or something. But if I wanted to go against type, then I would have this alligator all of a sudden be very, very evil. Oh, hello, darling. I've just come to see if you would like to have dinner with me. I don't know, something like that. Okay? Now, animals can do a whole lot of different things. This is a person puppet. And he already kind of almost has a certain feel to him. This one is a pre-made puppet, of course. It looks like he's a kid. Got on a shirt that's got a lightning bolt, got on these cool sneakers, blue jeans, it's kind of fuzzy hair. And so you're automatically going to get the feel that this puppet is a young boy, and you're going to go with some sort of a boy voice. Hey guys, how are ya? Who wants to go play soccer? I don't know. I'm not that cool. Okay. Or you can have him be like, hey ladies, ready to go watch me score? I don't know. So you have some leeway with character. You can have someone who is look like this, has a really clean cut, kind of innocent look. You can go with he's kind of silly. Hey everybody. Ha ha ha. Or you can have hey guys, what's up? Very normal voice. You are going to look at this puppet and you're going to think, based on what I see, what kind of character do I want to create? The youth part is kind of built in. So you're going to start out, he's going to be younger. But then you can create how he acts based on your own choices about it. Okay, so you can choose, is he cool? Is he nerdy? Is he someone who gets in trouble all the time? Is he straight-laced? And then your voice will be reflected in that. Now I want you to notice, we've got this puppet, and I've got another one here. Okay, at their basic level, they are very similar. They have the same size noses. They are the same size puppet, made with similar build. Their eyes are the same size. Now we've got different hair, different eyebrows, different eye color. The mouths are the same. The inside of the mouths are the same. But you can see that these are going to be very different characters. So even though some things about them are the same, some things are going to be very different. So if I'm playing with this character, Hola, chica. I don't know. This might be my abuela, okay? That I might decide. I know she's an older lady, gray hair. She's a grandma. And I may decide that she is Latina based on her skin color. That's a choice that I would make as a performer. I may decide that she is a super sweet, kind old granny. I may decide that she is against type, that she is the evil mastermind behind the end of the world. Okay, so you think about those kinds of things. Do you want to play with the character type that you have, which is what most people do most often? Or do you want to go against type with your characterization? Now, your voice is important. Do you want to move your voice into an upper register, into a lower register? Do you want to give an accent? Okay, so we worked on those accents, and you will be able to incorporate those into your puppetry if you would choose. Your assignment will be, I'm not going to give you your assignment in this video, your assignment will be on the assignment page. Alright, I'm going to go now to the puppets that you make yourself. So much goes into this, so many choices. We talked last week about how you can make different ones. Size has a lot to do with this, so like I did get some, found some that I had some paper bags. These are 3 different sizes of paper bags. If I'm using the biggest one, then I may decide this is, you know, like my bear character, or maybe a big father character. A lot of times you have those kinds of, again, typecasting, like the father, the mother, the baby. You know, you got the 3 sizes. Now you can do things that are more silly, like in a SpongeBob with Mr. Crab and his daughter. You can do like in, we talked about a couple times, that new movie, Klaus, where, you know, the parent is small and the child is humongous. You can do that sort of thing. That would have something to do with your character choices. If you have a child who's humongous, that's going to add comedy to it if you want it to be more comedic. Okay? So with your paper bags, the size that you choose might make a difference. Okay? Now I'm going to show you what I did with my puppet, how I made mine. So what I did is I wanted to make one of the paper ones, but they're too small. So I was like, do I have some bigger paper? I had bought some stencils, and packed in with the stencil was a backing paper. So what I did is I took the backing paper out and I started playing with it and folding, and I came up with this. It took a lot of extra weird playing with it. So this is a bird, and what I did is instead of having the rectangular corners, I decided I would fold them in a little bit. Let's see if you see that. Fold them in on itself on the top and bottom. And then I didn't like how boxy it was out here either, so I folded that in. I wish that I'd made the eyes maybe a little closer together. They ended up a little far apart. And also this thing is so big that I had trouble keeping my hand in it. And so what I did is I put some tissue inside of it. And then for the bottom one, I made a thumb, like a thumb hole for me, because it kept slipping out and falling out. So what I did is I just took some tape and turned it inside out, rolled it inside out, put it in there and put some more tape on it to keep the sticky part. And so now I could stick my thumb inside of it and hold it and it not fall out. So that's what it looked like on the inside. And so I tried a lot of different things trying to figure out what kind of character I wanted for this bird. And I decided that since when she opens her mouth, if she opens it all the way, it gets really much bigger, that I would make her into a singer. So I'm still working on it. I haven't decided if I want to stop here or not, but hello all of you. I am ready now to take the stage. I said, I'm ready. Something like that. Now, if you want to go all in with a puppet like this, you can see that my hand is showing. I'm going to try something on this tape that may not work out well, but we'll see. Okay, so I have a black sock here, And I thought, okay, if I cut off the toe, then when I put it on, and I put the heel to the top, you probably need a bigger sock. Okay, my hand would come out, and then I need a place for my thumb, so I'm gonna just put a little snip in here somewhere around where my thumb would go. Don't cut your thumb. Aha! Okay. So now if I stick my hand in, now I've got this almost, maybe a little bit too much showing with my thumb. I've got this whole feel to it. Maybe I should have made the heel part my thumb so that my own thumb doesn't show. I don't know. You can try it out. And then you could even add some sort of costuming or something else on here. I didn't have any feathers, so I used some frayed yarn here. But I decided that I wanted the eyebrows to go down so she was serious. She's someone who expects you to take her seriously and who expects everyone to do what she says no matter what. She's a diva. And I'm still working on exactly the voice that I want to use, which accent I might want to use, and her word choices, which will be important because let's say, for example, if we're talking about the Queen of England, her word choices will be different than, say, Samuel L. Jackson. So I got two completely different kinds of characters there. We're going to use two completely different voices. Their characters will have different voices, not only the physical, your vocal cords moving voices, but also the kinds of things that they say. Okay? So, characterization, working on character that's related to your puppet itself, what your puppet seems to almost say to you. When we have Kermit the Frog, we know he's a nice guy. You can just look at him and tell he's going to be a nice guy. Simple. He's, with these eyes. And then you have like a Miss Piggy, who has a dichotomy. She's got two things going on. She tries to be very sweet and, oh, Kermit. And then she doesn't get what she wants. She's like, hiya! You know. So you can have a character who is more multifaceted, has more layers to the character. It depends on your choices as the puppeteer, as the performer, as the actor, what kind of layers your character has. Your character is more than just the physical voice you give it. Later, we can talk about some of, I don't know that we'll have a chance to talk about so much here, but even this, if I have a character who is very proud and always thinks she's better than everyone else, then her head will probably go up more. If I had a character who is sad all the time, I'd have more of a weak arm here so that it would seem slumped over, like your physical body would slump over. Okay? All right, things to keep in mind while you are working this week to have a performance with your character. All right, guys, thank you so much.